The deep state bureaucrats never saw it coming. While they were busy planning their next taxpayer-funded diversity seminar, President Trump was preparing the most comprehensive assault on government waste we've seen in American history. And tonight, we've got exclusive details about executive orders that are sending shockwave through Washington's corridors of power. From eliminating billionaire tax loopholes to banning men from women's sports, Trump is not just draining the swamp, he's setting it on fire. And wait to hear about what's happening with federal workers. We've got internal documents showing mass resignations, and the numbers will shock you. Yes, sometimes the swamp just drains itself. And as Trump dismantles billionaire tax loopholes and reshapes federal policy, one thing's becoming crystal clear. Our financial system is in for a major shakeup. The elites are already moving their assets, preparing for what's coming. They know what Trump's executive orders mean for the dollar, and they're quietly stockpiling gold. Why? Because gold doesn't answer to Washington bureaucrats. It's the ultimate hedge against government overreach. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. Visit nextnewsgold.com, and with a qualified account, you'll receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins. That's nextnewsgold.com. The number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Give them a call. Tell them that Gary Franchi sent you. All right, let's get into it. We got some really good news today. Yes. What you see on the screen there, that is Olivia Juliana. And she's now claiming that she has lost 50 pounds because she can't afford to eat since Trump won the election. So, I mean, talk about cutting the fat in Washington. We're already seeing it here happen in real time with Democrat influencers. Yeah, she says she's down 50 pounds because I can't afford to eat in Trump's economy. Yeah, that's the way it is. So congratulations to you and your weight loss. So much is happening here. We've got the CBS interview was just released with Kamala Harris, unedited. And now we get to see exactly what happened. We've got a lot to get to in this segment, so just bear with me. And I want to make sure you get all the details. But let's just check in with how Jesse broke down this segment.
Listening.
We got our hands on the raw footage of Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview. Last October, in the heat of the election, Harris, Hail Mary with CBS. But the network was caught deceptively editing this answer. Watch.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. The Wall Street Journal said that that your administration has repeatedly been blindsided by Netanyahu. And in fact, he has rebuffed just about all of your administration's entreaties.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Trump sued CBS for $10 billion, and it looks like they might settle. But before that happens, the FCC released the full interview, unedited, and we have the tape. They talked for an hour and left a lot out. Here's an answer that never made air. Watch.
I'm trying to understand how it is that with this emphasis on the border, the numbers of crossings quadrupled under the first 3 years of the Biden-Harris administration. How did that happen?
There are a variety of factors that relate to what we have seen globally and what we are not immune from at our own border in terms of what we have seen in terms of surge of immigration and irregular migration. And there are solutions at hand, but we've got to have leaders who are solution-oriented, which we've been and are.
Leaders who are solution-orientated. Yeah, okay. She was a leader and she had no solutions. We got this now. Check this out. At least 50,000 federal workers have opted into the deferred resignation program. A Trump administration official familiar with the matter told Elena Train the deadline to decide the offer is at 11:59 Eastern tonight. After that, more widespread layoffs are expected imminently. So Donald Trump is already draining the swamp, 50,000 federal workers. And we've got some more. President Trump, he fought for us. A lot of people stepping up to the plate and making sure it is known.
For her.
I fought for her.
And I fought for her.
I fought for her.
For her.
For her.
I fought for her.
We fought for her.
And President Trump
has fought for all of us.
For us.
He fights for us.
Fought for us.
President Trump fought for me. For us.
For us.
For us.
For us. For us.
I'm so grateful that President Trump has fought for us.
I fought for
President
her.
Trump making big waves by making sure that only women are represented in women's sports. We've got this also. Gavin Newsom reveals California voter ID was discussed in spirited and engaging meeting with President Trump. Goes on to praise the Trump EPA for LA cleanup efforts. Let's listen to that slick politician.
President Trump has pressed for California requiring voter ID and changing to the water system. Did that come up with your meeting with him?
We talked about both. Yeah,
you talked about both. And did you say you would?
Ongoing conversation for over. I mean, I feel like I told the president when he's in the tarmac last week in Los Angeles. I said we're picking up on the last conversation we had around water 4.5 years prior. So I will say this: he's very focused on that issue. He certainly targeted some of that in terms of some of the actions he took by executive order.
2 billion gallons of water.
And so we had and that's why it was an extended conversation. I didn't even know people knew how long the conversation was, but it was an extended conversation. And so it was spirited. And look, and it's exactly.
Spirited how so? Bring us into that.
Because we were just, it was an engaging conversation. You know what it was? A two-way conversation. And that's what it should be. I mean, just different points of view, expressing a different understanding of the nuances on the ground, but an appreciation to get something done.
Did you tell him the 2 billion gallons of water didn't help with the wildfire?
Well, I think it's been well covered.
Okay.
I understood. But, look, I kept going back. It wasn't about focusing on the disagreements. It was about focusing on what we have in common. What we have in common is a desire to support the people of LA and also recognize that in 2028, we've got the Olympics coming to Southern California. We have an opportunity of a lifetime in the next 3 years to do something extraordinary. And I will say this.
He's dropping 2028 already, right? What do you think about that? Here we have this. This is just 24 hours ago, large anti-Trump protests forming around the state capitol building in Minnesota. The crowd's been chanting anti-fascist slogans. And this guy, Brian Krasenstein, he says, I fully support people taking to the streets. Okay, that's enough of that. You understand. Sure, they can scream all they want into the wind, but, they'll get their social media moments, and we will keep on winning. We also have this. President Trump's policies putting America first. That is what we need. Democrats and leftists love to call Republicans hateful, but let's be real. Who's spewing the hate? This looks like a social media post.
You guys, same thing. The first genuine question for leftists, Democrats, liberals, whatever you call yourselves. How are you going to claim Republicans are the hateful ones when you actively hate anybody with a different opinion than you? How can you claim a moral high ground when you tell women you hope they get raped and miscarry? Or you tell parents that you hope their children die in school shootings? Or you say things like, Laken Riley deserved it. She was just a whore anyways. So how are you going to claim that Republicans are hateful and you have a higher moral compass than them when you're actively being hateful and actively showing you have no morals? You guys spewed the same thing the first time Trump ran as you did this time. 78 million Americans could care less and they voted for him. How are you going to call people uneducated and say that we're brainwashed and yada, 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 but you're the minority and you're still spewing the same thing over and over, no different points. You just say the exact same thing over and over. And then when you're proven wrong, you instantly start attacking this person. can you claim any morality at all? Your entire campaign was based on whether or not you could murder your unborn child.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, she's making a great point. They're going to continue spewing their talking points all day long, but we're going to keep on winning. Here we have just 9 hours ago, President Trump announcing he'll be sending an executive order to make Attorney General Pam Bondi the head of a task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias.
To confront such weaponization and religious persecution, today I'm signing an executive order to make our Attorney General, who's a great person, she's going to be a great Attorney General, Pam Bondi, the head of a task force, brand new, to eradicate anti-Christian bias. About time, right? Anti-Christian bias. To confront such weaponization.
I certainly can get behind that. Here on The View, what are we learning? And it's trouble. The View is in trouble. They said something very crude about the White House press secretary. Now Levitt has filed a lawsuit against them, which could have major financial ramifications for ABC. Uh-oh.
Serious legal battle.
The View hosts have got themselves into hot water again after they did the very thing they purport to be against.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
The View has found itself in yet another crisis, but this time, it's not just bad press. It's a serious legal battle that has put ABC executives on high alert. Caroline Levitt's lawsuit has turned into a major headache for the network, sending leadership into emergency meetings as they scramble to figure out how to handle the fallout. What started as just another controversial comment from the show's outspoken hosts has escalated into a legal war that could have lasting consequences. The controversy began when Joy Behar took a direct shot at Caroline Levitt, dismissing her qualifications and implying that she had only secured her political role due to her looks. Her remark wasn't just an offhand insult, it was a blatant attack on Levitt's professional credibility. The irony was hard to miss. The View, a show that prides itself on advocating for women, had no issue tearing down a young, successful conservative simply because they didn't agree with her.
Because it seems like all common sense has been lost in this city.
The backlash was swift as viewers called out the hypocrisy of claiming to support women while actively undermining one on national television. Normally, the show's co-host would brush off the criticism, issue a half-hearted apology, and move on. But this time, Levitt refused to let them get away with it. Instead of ignoring the attack, she responded with legal action, filing a defamation lawsuit against The View. The lawsuit sent shockwaves through ABC, with legal experts pointing out that the comments made on the show weren't just rude. They could be legally questionable.
Uh-oh, The View's getting sued. Look at this. We got this. Karen freezing and glitching out when asked about black women who voted for Trump. And, of course, she's wearing her pussy hat.
They leave black women out.
What does this sign mean to you?
You know, black women are probably the least respected in America. Their voices aren't heard. Their issues aren't paid attention to. Many white women look beyond their own personal interests, and they leave black women out of the conversation. And I think America needs to change about that.
What are we not trusting them to do right now?
How to care for our country, how to care for each other, how to stand up and fight for things that aren't right.
Millions of black women voted for Trump. Should we trust them?
Ooh, I'll take your...
Oh, yeah.
Millions of black women voted for Trump?
Way too many. Way too many. It is beyond me.
Should we trust them?
I don't know.
Maybe not trust black women then.
That's not true. I do trust black women.
Who'd vote for Kamala Harris?
I think...
Brandon Straka causing a total short circuit in his leftists.
He wants to know if I trust the black women who voted for Trump.
I think they voted against their own interests, so it's really hard to put the idea of trust together with someone who is continuing to vote against themselves, right?
So it sounds like they don't have very good judgment.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's not having good judgment. I don't think they necessarily connect the dots, and I do.
They're stupid.
No, they're not stupid, but I think it's...
No, I'm just asking but it is hard to trust people who are stupid and have bad judgment, right? And black women who vote for Trump are stupid and have bad judgment.
No, we did not say that.
I think they don't connect the dots, and so they're looking at only certain things and thinking that's important, and not connecting the dots.
It sounds like those black women need to be educated by white women like you.
Yeah, not
true. Not.
They just need a good white woman to come in and tell them what's up.
You're putting words in our mouths again, and you're trading it.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that.
This idea that white people are going to be the white saviors pisses me off.
But if white women like you don't educate them, how are they ever going to learn to vote the way that they're supposed to vote?
You know, as a white woman, I'm happy to help educate and talk to people, but it's not my job to go convince somebody else.
I hope you're able to get through to some of those untrustworthy, stupid black women. Good luck.
Brandon Straka, Walk Away Movement founder. Love it. Okay, here we have more. Press secretary announced to reporters that President Trump intends to eliminate tax breaks for billionaires, which are not available to the general public. Oh, I'm sure Bernie Sanders is going to love this. How is the left who's been saying billionaires don't pay their fair share? How are they going to hate on this?
Products. So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise that the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay. Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap, eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners, close the carried interest tax deduction loophole, tax cuts for Made in America products. This will be the largest tax cut in history for middle-class working Americans. The president is committed to working with Congress to get this done. So
let's go, baby. Let's go. Here's a young lady. She gets it. Trump said there will be no longer be years of living on Section 8 because people have been depending on it for too long.
Your feet. I personally don't agree with a lot of things Trump is saying, but this one specific thing makes sense to me. To all the people that's on Section 8, he is giving y'all 2 years to get on your feet. Trump said stop being dependent and become independent. I agree. I'm not no hating ass bitch. I'm not knocking nobody's situation. But if you really think about it, Section 8 is only to assist you to get on your feet. Section 8 is a stepping stone to get you on your feet. Section 8 is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Government assistance is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Keyword, assistance. To assist you. Y'all done got too comfortable. There's people that's been on Section 8 for like 10 plus years. Oh my. That's a long time. Within that amount of time, you should have a lot of money saved up in your bank account, in your savings account. Y'all too busy buying the newest shoes, buying the hottest cars, trying to keep up with the trend, buying designer purses, buying designer clothes, but you're in public housing. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. Like that.
And Donald Trump is on the case. Oh, here we have more. President Trump to sign executive order banning men from female sports.
Males from, as you can see, my classmates are super excited that Donald Trump is signing an executive order in 40 minutes to ban males from female sports. We got to get rid of those men. They don't belong in female sports, all right? You've got to divide it. Men from women, it's Title IX. It's in our federal law. It's common sense. I don't know. I hope the people behind me have some common sense. If not, we're going to have to teach them. But men have advantages physically and biologically. This only makes sense. So many women have been disenfranchised in races, whether it's swimming or on foot or on the track. And so we need to clamp down on the nonsense, and it's happening today.
Amen. Making women's sports great again. Here we go. Also, did you see this? This was making some headlines. RFK Jr. putting something in his water while flying. Apparently it's called methylene blue. Now, I'm not making any claims here, but it says mitigates radiation burden, protects against oxidative stress. It's an antiviral, so you don't catch a cold, and it boosts autophagy if you're fasting on a flight. So this person says, also that dose I don't recommend, but he's spearheading a movement. So this was going viral. Everyone's like, what is RFK doing? What is he doing? Putting the stuff in his drink. And everyone starts searching for it. And now we're getting some answers. Here we have Donald Trump, the most heartwarming 2 minutes ever. Oh, look at all those kids. And he's not sniffing any of them. Oh, we are so back, baby. We are so back.
You know, if you'd like to gather around me, I think I'm going to be okay. Come on. Come on. Secret Service is worried about them. If we have to worry about them, we have big problems. Okay, do you want to have a film? Do you want to do this? Watch what I do, then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? Are you ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature because this is, this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
Pretty good, huh? Okay? Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right? Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Great going, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, kids. Here. Take a pen. I'll give some of these out, okay? Take a pen. Take a pen.
Promises made, promises kept. And now we have... It looks like a clip from Mario Nafal. His royal prince, Al-Weed, who bought the Plaza Hotel from Trump, has some comments regarding Trump. This is from Tucker Carlson.
You know Donald Trump well. I know him a long time ago, from the time we bought from him the Plaza Hotel, and we also bought from him his Trump Princess yacht that I still have.
How did you wind up with Donald Trump's yacht? Not many people can say that. Not many people have Donald Trump's yacht, but you do. How'd you get it? I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah, we bought it, I think, in the late 80s. Trump did take possession of it, and he renovated it. And I think he reached a stage where he did not really want to have it anymore, so we did buy it from him.
What was your experience with Trump? What's he like?
No, I mean, look, with Trump, I think if you're straight with him, you get a straight answer. We've had very good dealing with President Trump, when he was a businessman, whether during the purchase of the Plaza Hotel from him or buying his Trump Princess yacht.
So you were not anti-Trump?
Oh, no. We can't be anti-Trump, because we are pro-America. We have to be pro-Trump. Especially with the new policies that he's taking right now.
Yeah, baby. You can't be anti-America and anti-Trump. This man is talking about how both America and the American people thrive if President Trump successfully gets rid of the income tax. Everybody is waiting for this. Everybody. I am praying for this, folks. I hope you will too. Let's listen to this guy.
What happens if Donald Trump successfully gets rid of income tax? If Congress drops income tax and switches to a tariff-based system, we're looking at the biggest economic explosion in probably 30 some odd years. Think about it. Your paycheck, instantly fatter. Businesses scaling overnight, and investments are through the roof. You see, right now, the government eats about 20 to 30% of every dollar you make before you even see it. But with this in place, that's gone. You just gave yourself a $30,000 raise without lifting a finger. What happens when millions of Americans suddenly have extra cash? They buy more, invest more, and build more wealth. Imagine running a company and never stressing over payroll taxes. No more FICA headaches, no more IRS taking a chunk before you even see profits. Instead, that money fuels growth, bigger teams, better infrastructure, and limitless scalability. Some of y'all are thinking about offshore structures right now, but with this in place, you wouldn't even need that. For high net worth individuals, tax strategy is only half the game. Eliminate income tax? Now the focus shifts to asset protection, trust structuring, and strategic reinvestments. Wealth compounds even faster, and the ones who move fast will build dynasties. Now, whether this really happens or not, that's politics. But for the people who understand the game, the moves are the same. You position yourself now so that when the shift happens, you're untouchable. The question is, are you thinking that far ahead? What happens if Donald Trump successfully...
Oh, we are thinking that far ahead for sure. We've got more. Here's what the people of D.C. think of DOGE putting a pause on foreign funding.
Oh, no, it's not a good...
President Trump recently paused a lot of aspects of our foreign aid. What do you think about this? Do you think it's a good idea? Bad idea?
Terrible idea. Hell no, it's not a good idea.
Pretty awful idea.
He's selfish.
It's kind of bad.
I think it's reckless.
Do you think it's important that we spend money on some of the things we are, like, for example, $20 million going towards a Pakistani version of Sesame Street? Do you think that's a good use of our foreign aid and taxpayer dollars?
Well, I think they just need to, like, reevaluating some of the things.
Isn't that what Trump's doing by putting the pause on?
It's basically it.
Good investment of our taxpayer money?
Oh, yeah, baby. We are so back. Here we have Dana White asking, how is MSNBC still on the air? I can't even listen to them. It's almost like a comic strip. It's a cartoon. That network gets so bad, it's unbelievable. I love Dana White. Let's listen.
They are. I don't judge anybody by their politics.
Yeah.
And I follow like CNN and MSNBC and all these other, and because I like to hear everybody. MSNBC, I don't even know how they're still on the air. They are the nuttiest. I had to unfollow. For me to do that, it's like, I love hearing everybody's opinion. They are nuts. It's like, I can't even listen to them. They're so, it's almost like a comic strip. Like it's a cartoon, that network. It's like a cartoon. It's so bad. It's unbelievable. And it's the whole, if Trump says it's blue, they say it's black. If it's, it's just, it's so bad. But yeah, no.
Anyone
won by a landslide.
Anyone in your personal life?
No.
Like, do you feel like there's been a change?
Oh, yeah. There's not one person that I know that is a hardcore liberal and they're out there arguing about anything anymore. It's dead. It's all gone. Actually, the exact opposite. The people that I know that were very liberal, they're not very right, but they're definitely not very left.
I know.
Right?
And everyone seems to have accepted free speech as the status quo now. Like,
I think so.
You've been sticking with that for, through the middle of all of this, famously. But now people are like, yeah, okay, I disagree, but you get to say what you think.
Yeah. No,
Does it feel that way?
Yeah. It needs to be that way. You can never let that go. You let that go and we're all in big trouble, man. But I also felt like after the election, there was a sigh of relief. And not just in the United States, but all over the world.
Yep.
Here and other countries that we go to, it's just everybody is celebrating the fact that Trump won the election.
Everybody is celebrating. Everybody. Sigh of relief. And Dana White, if you don't recall, he's now on the board at Facebook after that famous meeting that happened there. We also have, I guess, we got something funny. You guys want to hear a joke?
You don't like Trump? Yeah. What do you not like about it? I'm just curious.
No, nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I also do that. You guys saw the comics on the show earlier, right? And what do you do out of curiosity for a living?
I work for a
Translation. So like a Chinese person comes up to you and they're like, he hates Trump. Trust me, I translated it. What about the husband? Are you allowed to have an opinion in the house? What do you do, man?
I'm employed. I just got a new job.
Yeah, that does sound like a guy who would date a girl that hates Trump. I was on the street homeless, and then I found this translator. And I'm being an asshole for like that's why they're all here. You guys are just dumb liberals that bought tickets to the wrong show.
Oh man, you guys see his shirt? What does his shirt say? Ben Bankus. Shirt says Wuhan Institute of Virology. Oh man, I gotta get a shirt like that. Oh no, we gotta sell a shirt like that. That's how it works here. Okay, we've got some more what Trump derangement syndrome looks like. Racism towards white people is real. Dare we? Okay, let's listen.
Get shot by the police. Will not look like what you fucking look like. They would have shot you already. So be fucking thankful because police kill black people every fucking day, and you will never get a taste of it because you just sat here and fucking yelled at him.
Okay, enough of you. Okay, let's go to the press secretary instead. Caroline Leavitt dropping the mic, slamming Democrats for whining over USAID.
To ensure. And one more thing before I wrap up, because I do want to get to these meetings and I will see you all at the EO signing later this afternoon. I would just say that you brought to mind California and North Carolina, who continue to be on our hearts, and the president and this administration are committed to ensuring that these individuals get the funding that they need. And I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this. But then they're very quiet about the fact that there are still North Carolinians and people in California who have lost everything. And in the last 4 years, this federal government did nothing to help them. This president will continue to put Americans first. And I think the successes of this week so far speak to that. And it's only Wednesday. So I'll see you guys later this week, and we'll see you this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, baby, let's go. And we got some good news from my friend Terry Newsom, pointing out a fellow Chicagoan, Jim, father of young twins, just received a pardon from Trump for his involvement on January 6th. Other Illinoisians and I stayed at the same hotel as him. Unfortunately, the feds targeted Jim for being a Proud Boy. Let's listen.
Here's what almost. So I'm here with my buddy Jim Bob. He just got pardoned by Trump. Look at this. This is a pardon by Donald Trump right there. Certificate of pardon right here. This is for our Downers girlfriends. So look at that. Look at that. And Terry King, I want to thank you. You gave me this shirt at our event, and I want to give it to somebody that's more worthy. Jim got sentenced to 3.5 years, almost 3.5 years, twins for January 6th. He didn't hurt anybody. He just got pardoned by Donald Trump, and he's worthy of your T-shirt. So thank Terry King for giving this T-shirt that's going to somebody that's more worthy than me, my buddy Jim Bob.
The winning doesn't stop. Oh, and speaking of winning, MSNBC anchor Andrea Mitchell has confirmed she will be leaving the network on Friday after 17 years of spreading disinformation. Oh, my heart breaks. I wonder where she'll go. Maybe she'll fade into obscurity where she belongs. And Trump, this was during the campaign on men and women's sports. He said, we're just not going to let it happen. This is during the campaign. And now a promise has been kept.
Careful, because easy question. And everybody in the room, and you know that answer, we're not going to let it happen. You look, just yesterday, they had a volleyball match. Did you see that? Yeah. Where a person that transitioned, okay? We have to be very careful because this can terminate your political career if you say it's slightly off, all right? But transitioned from man to female and was on a volleyball. And I saw the slam. It was a slam. I never saw a ball hit so hard. Hit the girl on the head. But other people, even in volleyball, they've been permanently, they've been really hurt badly. Women playing men. But you don't have to do the volleyball. We stop it. We stop it. We absolutely stop it. You can't have it. It's a man playing in the game. I mean, physically, from a muscular, even if it was a little bit less, maybe they do all sorts of tests and drugs and everything else. Look at what's happened in swimming. Look at the records that are being broken.
So how do you stop it? Do you go to the sports leagues? Do you go?
Well, he just did. He just stopped it, signed an executive order. And speaking of something bizarre, we've got Peachy Keenan revealing that there was a study, $8 million, to study the effect of flavored cigarettes on bisexuals and lesbians. There is the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill receipt. Holy cow. The effects of flavored cigarettes. Wow. Okay, there's something really cool I want to show you. We've got more clips to get to. But there's, remember the impeachment. And it was Michael Schellenberger just exposed something absolutely insane that has now come out with respect to USAID, I believe. He exposed something massive. Trump's first impeachment in 2019 wasn't just political, it was a deep state coup. A so-called whistleblower accused Trump of pressuring Ukraine to investigate Biden. That claim led directly to his impeachment, but now we know the story, the real story. The whistleblower was a CIA analyst. His evidence came from an independent news group called OCCRP, but OCCRP wasn't independent at all. It was funded and controlled by USAID, a U.S. government agency that specialized in overthrowing foreign governments. USAID didn't just fund OCCRP, they approved its employees and directed its work. That means the very agency accused of staging coups overseas helped take down a sitting U.S. president. Even worse, OCCRP's own founder admitted his group has probably been responsible for overthrowing 5 or 6 governments because that's what they do. And in 2019, they used those same tactics against Trump. Fast forward to today, Trump is back as the 47th president, and he just shut down USAID, the very agency that helped rig his impeachment is gone. This time, the coup plotters didn't win. The deep state underestimated Trump once, and now he's made sure they will not get a second chance. Check this out.
Or claim to have heard. Hey, everybody, it's Mike Schellenberger for Public.
I love this guy, man. This guy dives deep.
House of Representatives impeached President Donald Trump in December 2019 after a White House whistleblower went public with evidence that Trump had abused his powers by withholding military aid to Ukraine in order to dig up dirt on his rival Joe Biden. In the complaint, the whistleblower claimed to have heard from White House staff that Trump had, on a phone call, directed Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to work with his personal attorney at the time, Rudy Giuliani, to investigate Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. The whistleblower who triggered the impeachment was a CIA analyst who was first brought into the White House by the Obama administration. Reporting by Dropsite News last year revealed that the CIA analyst had relied on reporting by a supposedly independent investigative news organization called the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, or the OCCRP, which appears to have effectively operated as an arm of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, which President Trump has just shut down. The CIA whistleblower complaint cited a long report by OCCRP 4 times. The OCCRP report alleged that 2 Soviet-born Florida businessmen were key hidden actors behind a plan by Trump to investigate the Bidens. Those 2 businessmen connected Giuliani to 2 former Ukrainian prosecutors, according to OCCRP. The OCCRP story was crucial to the House Democrats' impeachment claim, which is that Trump dispatched Giuliani as part of a coordinated effort to pressure a foreign country to interfere in the 2020 presidential election, which is why the whistleblower cited it 4 separate times. In a 2024 documentary that the German television broadcaster NDR made about OCCRP's dependence on the U.S. government, a USAID official confirmed that USAID approves OCCRP's annual work plan and approves of new hires of key personnel. NDR had initiated and carried out the investigation with a French investigative news organization called Mediapart, an Italian news group called Il Fatto Quotidiano, Reporters United in Greece, and Dropsite News in the United States. However, according to a MediaPar story published the same day as the drop site news article, NDR censored the broadcast after U.S. journalist Drew Sullivan, the co-founder and head of OCCRP, placed pressure on the NDR management and made false accusations against the broadcaster's own journalists who had been involved in the project. On December 16th, drop site's Ryan Grimm posted a link on X to the 26-minute-long documentary. NDR, Germany's public broadcaster, is facing a censorship scandal, he wrote, and it's defended itself by saying it never killed a news report about OCCRP and its State Department funding because no report was ever produced to kill. That was absurd, wrote Grimm, and dozens, maybe hundreds of journalists knew it to be false. And now, of course, someone has leaked it. The drop site journalistic collaboration revealed that OCCRP's original funding came from the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs of the United States State Department. And it quotes a USAID official who says,
Drew was just nervous about being linked with law enforcement. Yeah.
But why?
Well, because sources, maybe, right? If people that are going to give you information think, oh, you're just an arm of, you're just a cop, right? I mean, maybe it's a problem. Or and other governments, say you're trying to get into a country and do something, and the government says, what are you, law enforcement or not, right? Like, there's a need that the separation, the independence is important, because if you lose that, you lose your sense of it's a value. Your reputation is incredibly important.
OCCRP does not operate like a normal investigative journalism organization in that its goals appear to include interfering in foreign political matters, including foreign elections, that are aimed at regime change. Sullivan told NDR,
"We've probably been responsible for about 5 or 6 countries changing over from one government to another government, because and getting, and people, prime ministers indicted or thrown out."
As such, it appears that the CIA, USAID, and OCCRP were all involved in the impeachment of President Trump in ways similar to the regime change operations that all 3 organizations engage in abroad. The difference here is that it is highly illegal and even treasonous for CIA, USAID, and its contractors and intermediaries, often called cutouts, to interfere in U.S. politics in this way. In response to questions that we sent to OCCRP, it threatened to file a lawsuit against us. "The premise of your article is factually false and defamatory," wrote Miranda Petrusik, the editor-in-chief of OCCRP, in an email to us. Media that USAID has control over editorial appointments has been disproven, she wrote, and we suggest you read our response to that. But neither OCCRP nor anyone else has disproved drop site's allegations, and drop site stands by them. And
folks, that is absolutely groundbreaking news right there. Michael Schellenberger dropping a bomb. We've got more. Let's keep going. We have more to get to. Let's take a look at, where's that clip? Here is, here's Tucker Carlson more. This is Mike Benz.
He was blamed for the rise of... All it took was Donald Trump getting elected for arguably 200 years of a First Amendment principle to be entirely discarded because it was leading to the wrong kinds of people being elected. Free speech on the internet was blamed for the loss of the Philippines election by the State Department in 2016. It was blamed for the events of Brexit. It was blamed for the rise of Trump in 2016. It was blamed for the rise of Bolsonaro. It was blamed for the rise of Modi in India. In country after country, the free and open internet, unfiltered alternative news, the rise of citizen journalists, the rise of citizens in those countries who have larger voices than CIA-backed media has meant that the State Department has lost control of those countries. And what happened was, after 2016, the technology and the networks were established to be able to add a new toolkit to American diplomacy, which is diplomacy by censorship. So you have truckers in America whose income tax is going to pay foreign governments to censor their citizens.
We're becoming the Soviet Union.
Not anymore. Not in Trump's America. We are living in a new era, my friends. The golden age is upon us. Here is Pam Bondi in her first time as Attorney General of the United States. This was just 9 hours ago.
We've got our newest U.S. Senator, and we've got my next fellow cabinet member and my friend Bobby Kennedy. So, thank you all for, our whole team is here. Thank you, and all of my friends and my wonderful family, Catherine Cyber and Liz Lyons and everyone, and all of my pastor, Aaron Burke, all my best friends. Leo, thank you for working with us too. We're so happy. Gianna, thank you for being here. My wonderful father-in-law, everyone in this room, thank you so much. Andrew. We've got our newest U.S.
Let's
Senator.
go, Pam Bondi in the house. Oh, yeah. Oh, but Jamie Raskin, though, he is freaking out. He posted this, that Elon Musk is systematically seizing control over our nation's communications, financial systems, data, and military infrastructure, saying Musk isn't a fourth branch of government, just another Silicon Valley who wants to be the dictator of the world. Oh, man, these guys are going to continue to fearmonger all day long.
What I see are all the telltale signs of a coup. A coup is a seizure of state power by unelected actors who work to take over the critical infrastructure of government outside of the rule of law. And that's what I see as going on right now. I mean, Elon Musk has basically tried to take control of the country's communications infrastructure, the governmental financial payments infrastructure, the data infrastructure, and he's got important parts of nodes of the military infrastructure. So I'm looking right through Donald Trump, who no doubt wants to abuse everybody's civil rights and civil liberties and centralize all the power in him. But at this point, you know, I'm with Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer and the people on the right who are saying, watch Elon Musk, because he's the guy who's trying to centralize all power behind him, and he hasn't been elected to anything. What I see are all the telltale signs of.
But you know, President Trump did in fact make him a official employee of the government, so he is working for President Trump now. That's the case. So all these fear mongerings, they can continue to go on. Thomas Massey, you can see here, just reintroduced the Senior Citizen Tax Elimination Act, which Donald Trump promised. H.R. 1040, this bill assists middle-class seniors by eliminating the unjust double tax on Social Security benefits. Why your Social Security benefits would be taxed again is absolutely absurd. And let's just hope this is passed. President Trump will no doubt sign it into law. Also, this just 24 hours ago, President Trump to reclaim all classified documents from the FBI's corrupt Mar-a-Lago raid. CNN forced to report this news.
Suggesting he didn't. Now the breaking news, President Trump is now expected to get back the classified documents and other materials the FBI seized from Mar-a-Lago. Stand by for details on that as the new Attorney General is carrying out Trump's agenda to overhaul the Justice Department. Also tonight is President Trump's plan for a U.S. takeover of Gaza sends shockwaves around the world. His administration. The 2022 search of his Mar-a-Lago estate. Our chief legal affairs correspondent, Paula Reed, is gathering all the details. Paula, tell us what we're learning and what does the law say about this?
Yeah, Jim, now that this...
What does the law say about this? Really? Is that the question you're going to ask? Donald Trump is the law. Pam Bondi is the law. But this is CNN.
Case is closed. President Trump is expected to get his stuff back, and that is expected to include some classified documents. Now, the FBI searched his Mar-a-Lago property back in August 2022, and at that time, the FBI found approximately 100 classified documents mixed in with other stuff like birthday cards, golf shirts, and even a photo of Celine Dion. And now the case is closed. There is a process for him to get much of this back. But I think some people obviously have some questions about the classified materials. But now that he is president again, he has broad discretion over classified materials, which is why he is expected to have those returned when anyone else would not.
Paula, you also have some new reporting on Attorney General Pam Bondi's priorities as she takes over the Justice Department.
That's right. Today was her first day on the job, and she signed over a dozen memos laying out how the Justice Department will pursue the priorities of the Trump administration. So she laid out several different objectives. The first one, the most notable one, is that she's going to review cases that have been brought against President Trump. Not only the 2 federal cases, the classified documents case we just referenced, the elections diversion case, both brought by Jack Smith, but also the case in Manhattan, the so-called hush money case where he was convicted, as well as a civil case that he also faced. She also signed memos dealing with everything from DEI, something we've seen across the government change as Trump has taken office, not only the internal policies, but externally. She said that the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department will be used to prosecute what she describes as illegal use of DEI in the private sector or educational institutes that accept federal funds. She also just laid out how their overall priorities will change and how she wants prosecutors to shift their focus to immigration, human trafficking, and protecting law enforcement. Another interesting change in these memos, changes at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearm, ATF. They're going to shift their focus away from alcohol and tobacco enforcement and instead use those resources to pursue other priorities like immigration enforcement and drug smuggling.
Did you hear her chuckling when she reported that? Yeah, these people have so much disdain for President Trump, but we see right through them. And President Trump is realigning the priorities of this government. Trump administration, this just in, to present a plan to end Russia's war with Ukraine next week. That is according to Bloomberg. We've also got, I had a clip here from Dan Bongino I wanted to play. Check this out too. Dan Scavino, a portrait of the 40th, this brings a tear to my eye, 40th president of the United States, Ronald Reagan, now hanging up in the Oval Office. How cool is that? A portrait of Ronald Reagan now hangs back in the office where he once held. Oh, President Trump talking at the prayer breakfast. Let's listen in, reflecting on Butler.
Honestly, it changed something in me. I feel even stronger. I believed in God, but I feel much more strongly about it. Something happened. So thank you.
Oh, I feel stronger. The whole country feels stronger, Donald Trump, now that you are back. Oh, here's Dan Bongino. Have you ever seen anything like this? Dan Bongino, I've never in my 50 years in this planet seen anything like the past 2 weeks. Me either. I am just sitting back in awe of the news cycle. It is the most exciting news cycle I have ever had to cover. And for years, all I was covering was just the destruction, the attacks, everything against Trump. And it was just like wear down on your soul. And now we can celebrate and we can watch, but we got to keep our guard up. Got to keep our guard up. Let's hear how Dan Bongino breaks it down.
You haven't. Have you ever seen anything like this? I know you haven't. Because I'm 50, so I'm going to guess 50 years old, that about half my audience is above and below my age. I have never, ever, in my 50 years on this planet, seen anything like the last 2 weeks. Ever. I don't know how I'm going to recover from this show after 4 years. I'm going to have to start taking blood pressure medication.
Blood pressure medication? Yeah, we've got a sponsor for that, by the way, Dan. Boostwithgary.com. Okay. We got this, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Mission 1 starting today, our vets. Let's listen.
12th VA Secretary. Hey, everybody, it's Doug Collins. Wow, first day on the job. I want to thank President Trump for nominating me to be the 12th VA Secretary. I'm here in my new office. It's like most days. It's a new start. I'm learning the ropes, learning where to go, who to see, even, probably trying to find the bathroom. But, there's one thing I don't have to look for, and that's my mission here. My mission is for our vets. Our mission is that the VA will be so America First focused because America First puts our veterans first. That's what you're going to get from me. You're going to see me a lot here. I'm going to keep you up to date. We're going to be transparent because our veterans deserve nothing better. And to the veterans who work at the VA and the employees at the VA, you're not going to have a better friend than me because I'm going to raise the bar, hold you accountable, because we have a job to do. Mission 1, starting today, our vets.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. They put it all on the line for us. And now Donald Trump, he's always loved the vets. And now he's going to make sure that they are properly taken care of, even as that previous administration just looked the other way and let them just rot. Okay, we got this. Pam Bondi, what's up?
Hit the ground running. The last 2.5 weeks have just been a warm-up. We are about to see some shit, people.
Oh, yes, we are. We are certainly about to see it all happen. President Trump also announcing an investigation into California's high-speed rail project.
Over budget. One of the things I want to investigate rapidly, because I've never seen anything to this extent, the train that's being built between Los Angeles and San Francisco is the worst managed project I think I've ever seen, and I've seen some of the worst. Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars over budget. In fact, I read where you could take every single person that was going to go on the train and get the finest limousine service in the world and take them back and forth with limousines, and you'd have hundreds of billions of dollars left over.
President Trump, the investigation into Gavin Newsom's absolutely wasteful spending in California about to take place. My friends, I can't even get over all the crazy stuff that's happening in this country right now. I am so happy. I am so blessed. You are blessed. We're all being blessed. America's being blessed. And even our dear friend here, Olivia Giuliana, down 50 pounds because she can't afford to eat in Trump's economy. God bless her. So what we have witnessed today is nothing short of revolutionary. President Trump's executive orders aren't just changing policy, they're fundamentally restructuring how our government operates. The elimination of billionaire tax loopholes, the protection of women's sports, the streamlining of the federal workforce are not random actions, they're calculated moves in a larger strategy to return power to the American people. Oh, my goodness. But here is what everybody should be asking. Why are 50,000 federal workers suddenly rushing to accept early retirement? What do they know that we don't? Are they afraid that they could get prosecuted for something? Share your theories in the comments below. I'm going to read them, and let's get to the bottom of this together. And show your support for real news with our exclusive Mag Avengers collection available at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's linked below.